Hey, 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 welcome back to the Passive Buddies podcast. And in today's episode, we are covering how to use your personal brand to boost affiliate marketing success. Now, personal brands are so important because it gives that ability to know, like, and trust. It's so much easier to build a personal brand and build that emotional connection with your followers, your students and your potential buyers rather than a faceless, just a logo. There's an instant disconnect that takes harder to build up. Now, someone who's got a great personal brand, who wears top hats, walks around with canes and buys fake mustaches, is our co-host Brandon Duff. How is it going, Mr. Monopoly?
I am doing amazing, and thank you. Yeah, it's funny. I got that idea from a guy named Taylor Welch. He had what was it? He looked like Iron Man or Thor. He had a hammer actually.
Yeah,
And it was him, and he looked like Thor, and it was like his kind of superhero costume. And he used that for a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's creative. Like I've never seen anyone else do that. And this was like maybe 10 years ago. Maybe 7 years ago. No, not long, probably 5 years ago, from 10 to 5 years ago. And so, because I was still like doing fitness then. So 5 years ago, I saw him. I was still doing fitness, and I was like, "That's cool. Like, that's very creative." And then I got into the online space a few years ago. I was like, "Whatever happened to that Taylor Welch guy?" I remember he had the Thor thing, and I was like, "I'm going to do something like that." So I was investing in real estate at the time, and a personal trainer. We had 10 rental units, and I was like, "I'll be Mr. Monopoly," because I want to upgrade houses to hotels and own plots of land. And so I just created that and took that and have used it in all my branding since, and it's working well so far.
Wait, it's quite interesting that obviously, like, you identified, well, the fact that you've seen Taylor Welch like well before you were ready to jump into the marketing space, remembered that brand and that he put on himself, that picture, only for obviously to you then come when you do finally reach the marketing land, for you to go and recognize that was memorable, so I need to do something similar. So I think that shows, like, it does really matter, and it shows like how having that personal brand can be a massive success for you. You don't have to dress up, you don't have to be like, or have like your alter ego, etc., but you do have to create something that's memorable. And being, thankfully, Mr. Monopoly paid off for you and it worked. But it's understanding your target audience, isn't it? It's like, you knew when you come online that obviously you were looking about making money. So what you associate Monopoly with, making money and making solid money. So from there, obviously, that connection, that leverage of something bigger has helped you develop your personal brand. And how much thought process did the target audience come into the creating of that personal brand?
None. The reason being is
you didn't check the show notes.
I think that it has to, like you said, it has to, like you said, an alter ego. And I feel that it has to be an alter ego, because if you're playing your alter ego and it doesn't reside within you, then your audience is going to see that. And so it's not going to be you're not going to be able to play the part, and they're not going to be able to distinguish what your brand is if it doesn't make sense. And so I felt that I was Mr. Monopoly. Like, I thought 10 rental units was awesome. I thought I was a shit. Lo and behold, 10 units is not the greatest. I mean, it is in the grand scheme of things. It's compared to people who have 0, 1, 2, or 3 up to 9. It's greater than them. But there are plenty of people with much more higher value units and many more. And so I created it as a persona for myself because I thought that it was great and it would get attention, essentially. And it did. And so I thought, it was funny. I remember the day too. I was like, I don't know why I created it, but I remember just my sister, my mother-in-law, taking the photos for me in her house. I got them all shipped. I had gym shorts on, and the top half was all Monopoly. The bottom half was like fitness. So yeah, it was. I didn't. I think it needs to resonate with the audience so that they can remember it. I'll give you a perfect example. If you look at, I was just at the movie theaters, and it's the only way I remember that actually is the reason why Nike got so big, and I guess they were a failing company in the 80s, is because they brought in a personal brand, or a future personal brand, which was Michael Jordan. And the reason why they got so big was because of Air Jordans. And Air Jordans were the things that made Nike it is today. So personal brands are, if you look at companies today are going to personal brands to leverage personal brands to bring them bigger audiences. So you have to think about like companies nowadays, big Nike, Adidas, Tiffany and Co. A lot of these like luxury brands or designer brands are brands, but now they're having to go to people who control the traffic and the audiences, which are personal brands like me and you, like the Kardashians, like some of these influencers on TikTok. They're the ones that control the masses now. And they're the ones that are being able to charge a high price point instead of going to, say, Facebook and running ads, or going to the newspaper, like no one does that anymore, but going to TVs and running commercial ads. People are now going to personal brands to drive traffic to their actual companies. And a personal brand is what's creating a lot of noise in the marketplace. So if you, like the currency today is attention. And so if your brand brings attention, you have a very powerful brand. So I think that me using Mr. Monopoly as my brand brought attention. And then obviously how I use that brand to create attention. We always talk about the story of me throwing the Traffic Secrets book into the swimming pool. When the audience that Russell Brunson had his, I guess, tribe or personal brand of everyone that he, I guess, gathered to join his product, which is ClickFunnels, and all his other marketing projects. And he's been in the marketing space for a long time, but he has a good personal brand. Everyone knows Russell Brunson. And so whenever he partners with someone, his personal brand brings them to other people. And so at the time, Traffic Secrets was very popular. And I did the opposite of what I created, I guess, drama within that target audience and threw their beloved book into the pool. And that's caused attention, and attention, either good or bad, was able to be profited from. And so if you're able to drive attention with your personal brand, you can do very, very well.
And you are right. Like the personal brand that you create then segues into so many different things, doesn't it? Like, so but developing a personal brand opens the door, as you said, to influencer marketing budgets. So therefore people pay you to promote something or talk about something, etc. So you can get like promotion and sponsorships, etc. from that personal brand. As you say, you can get that attention, and from that attention you can really build a successful affiliate marketing business, as long as you start to congregate that traffic. Now, we talk about email lists, Facebook groups, YouTube channels. If you can congregate that traffic, nurture them through your personal brand, you can then, when you are promoting something or recommending something, you can suggest it and people will buy it because your personal brand has grown and grown and grown. So it really does develop. People feel like they know, like, and trust you. Like, I have people messaging me all the time, like, and they'll ask me something, or they'll talk about something that's a bit more personal, not like, oh, why are you talking about that? But they'll bring up the kids, or they'll bring, obviously, we've just got bunnies, so they'll talk to me about bunnies and stuff like that, and all these different things, like, or how they can connect with like my childhoods, all these different things that they can relate to. And I'm like, wow, like I've never spoken to you before, but you know, obviously a lot about me. That doesn't freak me
Mhm.
out. It just means that obviously these guys are listening to me and they're developing that connection. So when they do come to you and they start that conversation, your level of authority to be able to direct them and serve them in the best way possible, which then as a byproduct generates cash flow for you, is absolutely insane. And it all starts with that personal brand and not being afraid to put yourself out there and like get rid of the, oh well, this person's going to say something, and it does affect you at the start, but you need to be able to push that to the side and either delete the people who think you're going to is going to affect you and hold you back, or just don't give a shit about them anyway and go forward. And then it's all about crafting that message and building that brand identity with using those things, like between the message, the identity, and being consistent. You will grow that personal brand and people will recognize you, like in the YouTube space or the marketing space, when your name pops up. And from there, you will be able to leverage that to make multiple sales.
Yeah, I think that is super important. I mean, you look at, I can't think of his name, Kobe, not Kobe, but one of the singers who just lost a deal with Nike or one of the Adidas, maybe, I don't know. And his net worth went down billions of dollars because he was saying some outlandish things. So a brand is super important, but you have to remember to, like you said, uphold that brand, because you can build a great brand and do really, really well, but then you can lose a great brand really, really quickly. Also, like, God, I can't think of his name. He's changed his name. He's a singer, I think, like so many times. I guess he was saying some very hateful speech in his rants online. I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But like so many, it's so important to build a brand that you can know, like, and trust, that people can connect with you. And it allows you to venture off into other things, and your tribe continues to follow you and root you on as you become and grow larger and larger, and you have more things to offer. More people will take you up on that offer, versus if you're faceless and you say create a faceless channel, no one knows if you switch gears, because there's no face to put to that brand. It's a faceless brand. So some things to consider, definitely. I'm very excited for the future. If you guys haven't heard or listened to our podcast about automation and AI and how you can use AI to create a brand or to create content for your brand, definitely check out that podcast. It has a lot of great information. Remember to like and subscribe to the podcast so that you guys get up to date with all of our time-sensitive material. Brian, do you want to lead us out here?
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning into today's episode, guys. I hope you've understood the power of a personal brand and how much money that can actually make you, which is the whole idea of this podcast, isn't it? Making passive income and the marketing strategies behind it. So if you like it, give us a subscribe and all that jazz. And if you want to join the Cash Flow Challenge, where we teach all of this, that will be the first link in the description, and we'll give you $100 off to start with. So go ahead, take advantage of that offer, and we will see you on the next episode.
Peace.